Hey man, did you see? They're making a new Hellboy movie.
Really?
Yeah, man, you gotta go watch the trailer.
All right, cool.
Dark things called dark things.
Ah, crap.
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, that's Bill, and today we are watching Hellboy from 2004, directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Or it's known in...
Said it right.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Or as it's known in certain parts of the world, Heckman.
Is it really?
Oh.
You know, I know like China's got weird rules where they're scared of ghosts and stuff, so I don't know if this movie got like a weird retitling to play in foreign markets.
I mean, it probably has different titles depending on the market because, you know, Hellboy might not necessarily translate to different languages, but that's how it is.
Yeah. But Hellboy, starring Ron Perlman, I think in some ways a very underrated comic book movie because like watching it again, and I've seen this movie a lot, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a top 10 for me. Like, I love this movie.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I like the premise. I like the concept of the BPRD. Hellboy is a fun character when he's played by the right guy.
Yeah. It's very like Men in Black.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The BPRD is very MIB, but supernatural based instead of aliens.
Yeah.
And I kind of dig it. I dig that whole, like, Ghostbusters, Men in Black kind of vibe. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things where it's just like, oh, it's a secret organization. Like, but like in real life, it's like, man, too bad stuff like this doesn't actually exist. But
Or does it?
it doesn't.
Or does it?
I guess we don't know.
Exactly.
But it's a cool premise. And
Even in the context of this movie, Hellboy's an urban legend. There's comic books about him. He's not real, and the FBI will deny it till the day they die.
yeah, it's very weird, you know, because we've got, man, I can't remember the name of that actor now, Jeffrey Tambor, or the guy that plays, like, the FBI liaison guy that goes on TV. He's in a bunch of, like, comedies, like Arrested Development and stuff.
And he might be a jerk or something, I don't know.
Yeah, but he's, like, a very, like, weird choice in this movie where I see him and I'm like, hey, it's that guy. And I'm like, oh. He's pretty good, though.
He's also kind of in a similar-ish role in Muppets from Space.
Oh, my God. He is in Muppets in Space.
Because he's, you know, dealing with shady government organization stuff. And his shady government organization is, like, disguised as, like, a cement factory, whereas the PPRD in this is disguised as, like, a sanitation waste management facility.
Yeah, and it's got like this epic building with this like flame in front. And,
well, you got to get in the building to see that.
Yeah. No, you remember at the front gate, like the one guy, you know, John or whatever, the main like guy that's kind of helping Hellboy out in the movie. He goes up to the gate and you can see like the flame and stuff, and like the plaque says waste management, and he like rings the bell and it's just like, what do you want? And then all of a sudden it has like the eye scanner and stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It's very Men in Black too, where he's like in that big lobby.
Yeah.
And then it's like the elevator and stuff. Yeah, you know, this movie's great. I mean, Ron Perlman is so good as Hellboy. Like, his voice just fits the character so well.
Yeah.
Like, the makeup looks really good. I mean, I'm sure that suit and whatever he wore is insane to wear, but...
Oh, yeah. I imagine. Hours
Yeah.
getting in and out of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, like, the hand and all that stuff. I don't know too much about Hellboy from, like, the comics. I know this kind of deviates from the comics quite a bit, though.
Yeah, I've read a handful, but a friend of mine who's a big reader of Hellboy, I remember he's told me, like, Hellboy and Liz, they don't have, like, a relationship like they do in the movie. They're more like a brother and sister in the comics, whereas here they're kind of like love interests.
Yeah.
I don't remember any other big differences, but, I mean, Hellboy is I know he's got, like, hoof feet, I think.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, he's a little leaner. He's been a little bulkier here.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that bulkiness is necessity for, like, the costuming and stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Though the new Hellboy.
That's right.
Because there was a new Hellboy, and now we're at a new Hellboy.
Yeah.
He does look a little leaner.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Hellboy, he's a great character. He's got, like, a lot of good, like, quips, like when he's fighting stuff,
Yeah.
He's calling like the one like creature they fight a lot, like Sammy. I think his name's Samael.
Yeah,
He's
something
calling
like
him
that.
like stinky and stuff. Like,
I mean, that thing probably smells.
I love the one scene where he gets like thrown through like a bunch of buildings or like just like a bunch of walls, slams into the wall, and then like one piece of glass hits him in the head, and he's just like, "Ow!"
I love that.
Like,
That's a good moment.
so good.
Yeah, that's great.
Like there's a lot of like really good moments like that. Like he's got like a lot of like little quirks too. Like they never really explain it, but like he just has like a million pet cats for some reason.
He likes cats.
Yeah.
They do point out that even though he's been around for like 60 years or whatever, for him, he's more like a
They say like
20-something
yeah.
almost.
Yeah, because of his biology, I guess he just lives a crazy long time.
Yeah, so he's sort of more immature.
Yeah.
So he's more headstrong. His dad grounded him.
Yeah. It's pretty funny. It is funny too, like how much like quantity of food like apparently he eats. We never see him like chowing down, but like
Oh, you mess up that makeup.
yeah. I do like when he's just like sitting on the couch trying to write a letter to Liz, and like it's like the one guy's like giving him his food, and he's just like, oh yeah, nachos. Like he's got like two like gigantic mixing bowls of chili. Just like damn.
Yeah.
Like his breakfast is just like so many pancakes and bacon and like
Just a mound of pancakes.
Yeah.
A mound of bacon.
it's just insane. And I do like he's not the only like supernatural creature at whatever their organization is called.
BPRD.
BPRD.
Yeah. Liz has mysterious magic fire powers. We have Abe Sapien,
Yeah.
who is voiced by Niles.
Yes. David Hyde Pierce.
Yes. And the body was performed by Doug Jones. Who,
Doug Jones, of course.
And like David Hyde Pierce, he's not actually credited in the movie because he saw Doug Jones' performance. Is like, this guy's doing fine. What the hell do you need me for?
And I think Doug Jones did do the voice in the second movie.
Yes, and the 2 animated movies as well.
Yeah.
So,
He
and
just kind of can do that voice,
Yeah, they sound enough alike where it's like, could have just kept Doug Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird choice, but
Doug, he does a lot of makeup stuff. He's an alien in that Star Trek Discovery show. He's, what was that weird movie that Del Toro made with
Shape of Water.
That's it. He's the creature of the Black Lagoons with abs.
He's Abe Sapien again, more or less.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine playing 2 different fish people.
Man,
That's weird, right?
it is weird. It's a movie from 2004, but I mean, the visual effects still look really good in this movie.
It's a good blending of CGI and practical stuff, so a lot of it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, there's like the weird. It's kind of weird. This movie begins sort of like an Indiana Jones movie in a weird way.
Yeah, because it's Nazis finding occult shit.
Yeah. But then it just like, wildly deviates with like the weird Nazi wind-up assassin guy,
Oh man, that guy's crazy.
which is kind of an interesting concept. I don't know if that's from the comics or just like a thing in the movie, but like
I cannot say. There's stuff in the first Del Toro Hellboy movie that I think is from the comics, but I think in the second one it's mostly new stuff.
okay.
But this, I don't know.
Yeah.
He feels like something that Mike Mignola would have drawn.
Yeah, I mean like he's a very like interesting, cool-looking character.
Very
and-
creepy when the mask finally comes off.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching this movie as like a kid and being like, oh, like surgical addiction? I'm like, that's a thing? Like, how can you be addicted to surgery?
I've seen some people.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah, it's a thing, and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
And
like,
creepy and gross. Don't do it.
yeah, when Hellboy's dad's like going through the thing and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he got his eyelids removed and he got his like lips removed and,
It's so messed up.
and like his blood is like just dust now because of like Rasputin magic, because they always like to connect Rasputin to Nazis somehow.
Or just make him a weird magical bad guy.
I mean, like, I guess he was a weird magical bad guy in real life, according to some accounts.
He was creepy, and he looks like he smelled.
Yeah, he did smell, apparently. Like,
I mean, look at the man.
he had a thing with not bathing, I think.
Ew.
Yeah. Yeah, he's... It's
See,
funny.
that's where this movie falters, because that guy looks like he took a shower.
He does. He looks very clean. And he does look cool when he has his like little sunglasses on and stuff. And it's just like, okay. But it's kind of funny because like the most recent movie I saw with like Rasputin in it was like The Kingsman, and the less said about that movie, the better. But
Never saw it. Saw that trailer one too many times, and I just didn't want anything to do with Kingsman after that.
yeah,
It's just like, I'm done. The hell with this franchise. Stop trying to make it a thing.
yeah. But I know there's some like historical things with Rasputin where like he was like shot apparently and like came back to life or something. And
I don't know about that, but I do think the story where they killed him and they made sure he stayed dead because we killed him by overkilling him.
yeah,
I think there's truth to that. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But that feels like it could also just be an urban legend.
He definitely seemed like he was like a huckster in real life, like kind of like a scam artist that got in with like the Russian royal family and
Possibly got them killed.
Yeah. So, but I guess he's a good fit with this stuff,
Everyone seems to think so. They keep doing it.
They keep doing it. But it's interesting because, Hellboy is just like a straight up like demon or devil. They never actually call him a devil in the movie though. Like they never say he's like a devil or a demon.
It's kind of vague of like what he might be. If he's a demon, is he the devil's son? But he might be a harbinger of the apocalypse.
Yeah, because, I don't know anything about the Hellboy universe. I don't know if there are other devils like Hellboy or if he's just like 100% unique and just looks like that.
I cannot tell you. I've only read a handful of Hellboy comics, and one of them was a crossover with Batman. Take a wild guess why I read that one.
Yeah.
And another one was like a Christmas special where he fought Krampus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
That seems like that would fit, like for a Hellboy thing, so well.
Of course. That's why I picked it up. It was like a one-shot. I'm like, oh, this sounds like it might be neat.
Yeah. But it's very cool, like the creature design of like, the Samael and whatever that thing is in space. I don't know, when they open up the portal.
Yeah, there's just like a weird tentacle thing in space.
Yeah, I guess it's like kind of like Lovecraftian.
Definitely Lovecraftian, yeah.
They open up a portal and it's not a portal to hell. I guess it's just to like some other realm.
Or
like
just deep space.
Yeah, or just deep space.
It just looks like it's out there in space.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be open to interpretation.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, it's funny.
I kind of like, jumping back to the weird sand ninja guy, like he is this like unstoppable force. He's just killing everybody left and right, and Hellboy just thumps him.
Yeah.
I kind of love that because he's just a guy. He's made of sand now, but he's still just a guy.
I mean, Hellboy is like ridiculously like strong. I mean, I always love like the scene where he like stops the car when he like punches it and it like flips up and he's like, red means stop.
Yeah, I like that.
That was always a scene in this movie I really liked.
Yeah, I always liked that. I liked him on the rooftop with the kid.
Oh yeah.
Stalking Liz and what's his face and eating cookies.
Yeah. Throws the rock at him.
So petty.
Yeah, he is petty.
Yeah, he's a kid.
Yeah.
I guess. That's why he's called Hellboy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not Heckman. He's Hellboy.
Heck, man. It's true. But I also like how, like, there's glimpses of, like, how, like, he very much, like, knows all the stuff his father, like, taught him. Like,
oh, yeah,
he's like, aware of, like, the supernatural stuff. Like, he knows what's up with, like, certain creatures. And
he knows how to do
stuff.
things. He resurrects that torso at one point.
Yeah.
He uses it as a guide for a little bit.
That torso is, like, so creepy. But I also love when it says, like, if I had legs, I'd kick your ass. Like,
I wish I stayed dead.
Yeah. Like, stuff like that is great in the movie. Like, just, like, Hellboy's attitude. It's just, like, kind of, like, so, like, nonchalant about stuff.
He's like, this is his job. He's just used to it. It's nothing to him. It's just another day at the office. Just punch in, punch a monster, punch out.
It's insane that he has, like, that, like, gigantic gun, too.
Big gun, big hand.
Yeah. He's got, like, all these, like, special bullets for, different, I guess, like, supernatural creatures. I guess there's, like, a lot of, like, like, faith-based stuff, too, in it. Like, with, like, the rosaries and stuff having power against, like, certain entities in the movie, like when he goes into his like full like demon mode at the end, like the cross like burns his hand
Yeah,
and it kind of
yeah.
indents it into him. Like there's like a lot of interesting stuff that's like kind of subtle, like when like Rasputin says like your god like doesn't like interfere in this world, but like mine does and stuff like that. I, I think he said that when he saw like the rosary, like
Something like that.
so like it's kind of like weird because it's just like okay, so like I guess there's like God and the devil kind of in this world, but like it's like very different. But it's just like an interesting wrinkle to like the lore and just makes me more curious about like more Hellboy stuff. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I really only like this movie and its sequel, and that other movie I wasn't really feeling.
Those two animated flicks, I only watched them once, but they were okay.
Yeah, I've never seen them, so
They're pretty solid. You know, I mean, I think they hew a little more like to the comics, but it's the same cast from these movies. So
oh, okay,
you got your Ron Perlman, you got your Doug Jones, you got what's her name is Liz.
okay,
So you know,
Selma Blair.
yeah, somewhere. So you got the same vibe at least from the personalities.
Yeah,
So yeah, they're definitely worth a watch. They're out there. They're on Blu-ray. They're probably on streaming.
well, I should check those out. But yeah, this movie, I've seen this movie quite a bit, only because I watched it on a plane like a million times when I was a kid, I remember.
I've only watched it a handful of times, coming across it on TV, watching it on Blu-ray and DVD a couple times, but I hadn't watched it in a pretty long time. But it was nice to revisit because yeah, there's a quirkiness to this that I like. They tried to kind of mimic in the reboot,
Oh yeah,
and I can't really figure out what they're trying to do with the new one, but they're kind of going for, I think they're going for more of a horror vibe, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But it definitely looks like, oh yeah, they can't spend a lot of money on Hellboy movies anymore because they don't make money.
yeah, and I guess to be fair, like this one did get a sequel, but like I know like
By the skin of its teeth, I
Yeah.
think. It did okay. I think it had strong home video sales, but the second one, it came out right before The Dark Knight.
yeah,
It got eaten alive.
and I know like Guillermo del Toro always said like, oh, I'm gonna make like a Hellboy 3, but then like they're like, listen, this movie sounds awesome, but like this is way too expensive, and he just wouldn't compromise on his vision.
I think there was a lot of issues, and I think ultimately no one would finance it because I don't think anyone thought it would make money based on how the second one did.
I mean, which is fair.
Yeah, well,
know.
I totally get. And then they just decided to reboot instead, and that bombed.
It did. I don't know. I really like this version of Hellboy. He's really cool.
Did you remember to watch the mid-credit scene?
There's a mid-credit scene. Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, clearly I didn't watch it because I didn't know about it.
Oh, if it makes you feel better, it's not like the 2019 Hellboy movie where they're desperately sequel baiting. It's just a
Okay.
fun little joke where boss is still in somewhere in the creepy catacombs being like, guys, hello?
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Did that guy come back in the sequel?
Yeah, he came back.
Okay,
But it's a funny little button joke.
yeah, I guess Hellboy told him to stay there. and
Stay
then-
put.
Yeah,
He just forgot to come back for him.
that's pretty good.
It's just a fun little joke.
Oh man.
Because this was 2004. This is before everything had to be a sequel hook.
Yeah.
This is one of like post-credit scenes were just little fun little jokes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, the early 2000s was pretty good for like these type of movies. Like, I remember a lot of them being kind of good. Like, cause you got like Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, and Hellboy, which
X-Men 2.
Yeah, like all these movies like were really good. I mean,
And then everything fell apart by the late 2000s.
yeah, I guess so. And then Marvel Studios kind of brought it back with their stuff.
And it all fell apart by the late 2010s.
Well, they had a finale, and then they just kept going.
Yeah.
Like that's the problem. It was done. And
Yeah.
then-
Don't have an ending and then keep going.
yeah.
It's kind of a problem with Star Wars. They had an ending, but then they was like, let's keep going. But
Yeah.
no, you had an ending.
It's done.
Stop, please.
But yeah, I really like this movie. I mean, Ron Perlman is great as Hellboy.
Yeah.
Like, he's got so many good quips. Like, it's a very interesting world. I don't know. I don't know what else I could say about it. Like, it's got a lot of cool like imagery and like lore and stuff.
I also know that this is the movie Del Toro decided to do instead of Blade 3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So, I mean, take the good with the bad sometimes.
Oh, man.
We got a bad Blade movie, but we got a pretty good Hellboy movie. So
Yeah. That's interesting.
yeah.
Wow.
He really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
This was a passion project of his. That's why it's as good as it is. Because this is something he really wanted to do. And that's like a perfect storm. Talented filmmaker, something he is super passionate about. You usually end up with something pretty good. So
Yeah.
long as nobody interferes, and no one was going to freaking interfere with Hellboy. Though they did try.
Really?
Yeah, apparently in early development, like studio heads were like, "Oh, can he like be a normal guy that then just turns into Hellboy?"
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That would have been weird.
I think Del Toro and Mike Mignola were like, "No."
It's weird. I know the new Hellboy coming out this year in 2024 is written by Mike Mignola, apparently.
I know it's based on a specific story from
Okay.
the comics. I don't know much beyond that. I don't even know if it actually has a U.S. release date. Because I was looking, and the only release date I saw said UK.
That's not good.
No. No, it's not.
I mean, like, they had a Hellboy game that came out either, like, last year or this year. That,
I want to say it was this year.
that just, like, came out. Nobody knew about it. And then, like, when I finally was like, oh, hey, that Hellboy game came out. I wonder what that's like. Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's real bad.
Well, somebody told me about it when it was like first announced, and then I didn't know it came out
Yeah.
because nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
The last video game thing I saw with Hellboy was when he was in Injustice.
Which he looked great in Injustice, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like, they do a really good job in Injustice. I mean, where's Injustice 3? I don't know. I've heard rumors that they might do Mortal Kombat DC again.
I mean, I don't know
but-
where the hell you take the Injustice story after 2.
Yeah, that's true.
They could just do something different but similar.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Injustice is cool just because, like, they've added some, like, comic book franchises that, you know, don't really get games. I guess Mortal Kombat's done that now, too.
I
But,
mean,
like,
look,
Hellboy, Ninja Turtles are
yeah,
in
I can do
there.
Ninja Turtles versus Hellboy.
Yeah.
That's fun. You know,
So,
one last comment. I know with the casting of Hellboy, apparently both Mike Mignola and Del Toro, apparently they were like talking about like, oh, who would we cast? Like, let's write it down. They both wrote down Ron Perlman.
nice.
They both wanted Ron Perlman. That's great.
I mean, like, he's perfect.
He was great.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're about to have a third Hellboy. No dissing whoever this guy is, but bar's high. And I didn't even think the other guy was bad. It's just kind of the movie was bad.
Yeah.
The makeup was good.
Yeah, I think that other movie just, in some ways, was just trying to be, like, I don't know.
It's trying to be a Marvel movie.
Yeah, like, I guess that's the best way to describe it.
And
It
some of
really
it-
was, like, trying to, like, capture that, like, Marvel feeling. They kind of did, like, the jukebox thing with, like, Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff.
They ended the movie with them, oh, look, what's this? It's Abe Sapien. And
Yeah.
they teased, he saw the ghost of another character. It's like, oh my God, it's you. And I'm like, I don't know who that is. And then there was like a weird, mysterious voice being looming threat for the future. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
Did they, like, say, like, oh, Hellboy, heard his true name, whatever it is.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifics like that. I just remember like the broader elements of that. I only saw it the one time. You
Me
were
too.
there.
I know. I saw it in the theater, like, opening weekend, and we're just like,
We wanted to like another Hellboy
yeah.
movie. So
I remember coming out of it, and we were like, it was okay. It's
kind of
fine.
messy. What the hell was with that ending?
Yeah, and then it was just like, I think it was bad. Like,
What can you say? Sometimes you quit while you're ahead,
yeah. But Hellboy from 2004 is definitely worth a watch.
as is its sequel and the animated sort of spin-offs.
And I guess that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week.
Red means stop!